do? Okay, we got to wait. Yeah, bro. We'll take it.
Jael. Like
Get in front of it. Get in front of
Judges
it.
code
Make sure you
17 in
ain't
the
fat.
Bible.
Keep armor a little bit.
Okay, I claim that.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Maybe I can be her backup for voice acting. Speak that on me.
Awesome. Give it up, guys. All right, you know, in 5, 4, 3.
Other people clap. They want to clap. I always say you want to clap. So you're sitting at home and you just turned on your television and you realize you made the best decision of your life. And we are so excited because we are here making the best decisions of our life right here with our special guest, Lawrence Robinson. Y'all give it a clap around for
Oh,
that.
thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh my goodness, Lawrence. I mean, actor, model, influencer, like, and newly, what I heard, father.
Right.
Where do we even start? I mean, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I hear you're a girl dad too.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not a newly father because I have a 12-year-old son, but
Okay.
I'm a newly girl dad. So.
Newly girl dad. That's what I was like. You know, girls, we the best.
Yeah,
We the best.
for sure.
I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you
No, for sure. My son, yeah, I trade him in for the same hours.
I love that. So part of PASS, right, is speaking to the kids, especially students who come from where you come from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're from Philly.
Yeah, West Philly.
So how do you get from West Philly and end up in LA?
I don't know, man, to be honest. I don't know how I did it. Because it was a long journey, but
yeah,
honestly, I just prayed up and I followed my instincts and I just made it happen.
Yeah.
I took an elective at Community College of Philadelphia.
Okay.
I think that was about 2008. And I was like, dang, I think I want to do this as far as, acting and the whole modeling thing. So it was rough. Like, it was around that time when everybody was scamming, when everybody was trying to, charge you $100 to sign up just to do some background work. So I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then around this time, one of my good friends, her name is Nafessa Williams, she's on Black Lightning. I was at Foreman Mills in my neighborhood in West Philly, and I saw her on the billboard. I'm like, yo, that's the girl that she was a couple years older than me, but I knew her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I know her. How she get on that billboard? And Foreman Mills is like a cheaper Models, but it impressed me. So I reached out to her and was like, yo, what are you doing? She didn't really know what to tell me because she had just started acting and modeling, but she was like, yo, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I heard about this workshop, Tasha Smith acting workshop. You should go. So I ended up going in like 2011, and I'm here.
For people who don't know, what is TSAW?
It's called Tasha Smith Acting Workshop.
Okay.
So that was like my first initial acting class that I really connected to, and I was like, yo, I could really do this,
Yeah.
But it was a huge class. It was like 100 people. It was a 3-day workshop. It was back when she first kind of started.
Yeah. What was that experience like? Because we always hear that as an actor, you have to train, right? You have to hone in on your craft. How did you identify your acting class and course? Because I think I heard that it's invite only certain courses or classes, but how did you go through
That's
that
now.
process?
That's like the new thing.
Okay.
But back then, it's just like, as long as you had that money, you can show up. Now it's kind of like you got to audition to get into class and all, like, that's like the new wave. But back then it was like you paid, the money. I was working at the airport. I was working at U.S. Airways. So
Okay.
I was a baggage handler for like 6 years. I had started right out of high school. So yeah, I just heard about it through Nafessa. I signed up for New York. She canceled New York, so then I went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I hit up a high school friend because, mind you, I had graduated from high school in like 2007. I'm old to the kids. Don't judge me. 2007 is kind of a long time ago, but I graduated. I was like, yeah, I had reached out to a high school friend. I was like, you go to Clark Atlanta, right? She's like, yeah, I go to Clark Atlanta. I'm like, can I stay at your house? Because I'm trying to take this acting workshop, and I don't know nobody that live in Atlanta. And she was like, yeah, you can sleep on my couch. She had like 3 roommates at the time.
Yeah.
So I took the workshop. I paid, I think it was like $400, which is very, affordable for a 3-day workshop with a huge actress like Tasha Smith. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was reasonable, and I took it and I fell in love with it. Then I moved to New York a year later.
Wow.
And then I just started hustling.
So you was Philly to Atlanta for a short stint for training.
For training, and then I went back home, moved out of my apartment, moved back in the house with my family because I knew I had to get my money right.
Yeah.
And I found an apartment on Craigslist in Brooklyn, random place in Brooklyn, and just moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience, right? Because most people will feel like they will start into the acting industry with nothing, right? Like,
Right.
or they're like, oh, they don't necessarily know like how much is enough to actually portray or to go after your passion. So
yeah, that's true.
what went into you deciding like, okay, now I have enough, or there's enough financial stability around it for me?
You're never going to feel like you have enough.
That's good.
So you just got to throw yourself in the fire. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I recommend places like New York to move first because it's easier to get a job in New York because everybody is hiring. So it was, you know, LA is rough because it's hard to get a job. You apply for a job, they call you for like 2 weeks for Rite Aid. You're like, yo, I'm trying to work at Rite Aid. Like, I gotta wait 2 weeks. But you know, New York, they always hiring. You know, so I just kind of threw myself in the fire, and I had I had no money, to be honest. I was still going to community college. I was going back and forth. But I just moved. I just trust my instinct. I had enough to get myself there, and then I got a job. I was hustling. It was like a startup agency, MMG. That was like my first agent. It was Nafessa agent. I literally did everything Nafessa told me to do. I was like, what you do? She's like, I went to this agency. I'm like, all right, I'm going to that agency.
Yeah.
I was just like following her footsteps, but making my own path, you know, at the same time. So it was pretty much, it was cool. But I never felt stable. And I feel like nothing comes out, when you feel stable, nothing really comes out of feeling stable.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's fruitful to feel unstable. Because when you feel unstable, that's when you're most creative. That's when you get the most work done. Because you feel like you gotta get to it. But when you're stable, you kind of get lazy.
Yeah.
Like I find myself now, and I'm not saying I'm super stable, but I'm in a good place. And sometimes I feel like I'm being lazy. Yeah. So I feel like you're most creative when you are unstable. So I feel like, if you got a fear, act on that fear and just move. If you got $500 in your pocket, as long as you paid your rent for 2 months, just take that move, take that leap.
Yeah.
Get a job, hustle.
Yeah, bet it on yourself. You got to bet on yourself.
You got to bet on yourself. Ain't nobody else going to do it.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You spoke about how in New York, there's always work. Right. So in LA, it's kind of a different pace. What are some of those things or affirmations that you tell yourself to remind yourself to like keep going when you're not actively at work?
See, well, I was using social media as a tool.
Okay.
I always knew that social media was going to turn into what it was. I always had a real good intuition about social media. I don't know if it's because I'm from Philly. Philly is big on kind of like showing you, who you are through social media since MySpace. Okay. So I think it's just kind of like a city thing. I don't know if it is, but I feel like I always kind of knew that the world was going to tap into social media. So I always made sure that I was putting out content. And it wasn't no special content. Like I told you, I was broke. I ain't had no money. So I just was putting myself out there. And I feel like everybody could find a way to put themselves out there. You just got to be creative. Yeah. Whatever you got, use that, because everybody got something special. And use that. So that's what I was doing. I was just kind of putting myself out there on social media. I'm like, listen, I don't know how to get into the audition room. I'm only doing background work, because I was doing background work on Law & Order, Gossip Girl, to the point I even got bumped up to get a credit on Law & Order. That was like my first real credit, because I was doing background work and I was hustling. And but at the time I was still posting on social media, so I was like, I don't know how to get into the audition room per se, but I know how to get people eyes on me. Yeah. So I was posting while I was like trying to figure out what it took to become an actor. And I feel like you could do that in any city. You can, especially now with COVID, us just getting over COVID, you can become whoever you want to on social media. You could live in Arkansas and have 2 million followers. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a tool, but I feel like don't let it consume you. Okay. And I think that's the problem with social media. People feel like, there's so many people that's successful without social media. So just use it as a tool, but don't let it get so, don't get so fascinated, or is that the word? Fascinated?
Yeah.
Fascinated or obsessed or factuated on social media that you feel like, like it's like, damn, I gotta post. Like, don't let it become a drug. Just use it as a tool, and you'll be good. So that's what I did.
So speaking of social media, I mean, what's your opinion, right, on getting a publicist or a social media manager? Like, if somebody's in this space, they're a high school student, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna post on, Instagram, but I don't know what to post, how to post, like what gets the most traction. Because
Right.
I believe there are some strategies that go into consideration when you think about what you're going to post.
Yeah, I would say to anybody, especially like young kids, like just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whoever you are is enough, especially in this world. Like we scroll, we see like the Drewskis, we see, all kind of things. We see like you might see Zendaya. Like these people don't have nothing in common, but they're all successful. So if you just be the best version of yourself,
Yeah.
you'll find a way to create, your own lane. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Even when we're thinking about just posting certain videos, right? Whether it's horizontal or vertical or collaborations, what are some trends or like steps that you would say people could take when they think about putting their post or content on social media?
You got to be really intentional.
Intentional.
That's
Okay.
the word I want to use. You got to be really intentional. And that's whatever you do in your career. Just be real intentional. So if you like fashion, you know what I'm saying? Like make sure you showcase that in the best way. If you're a foodie, showcase that in the best way, but really stick to who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Don't try to go into somebody else's lane. The vertical and all, the collaboration, the reels, all that stuff works, but you really got to be intentional and stick to who you are, because that'll sell.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how I look at social media.
Yeah.
But I also, as much as I love social media, I don't really like to advocate for it, because I feel like some people get too invested in it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I hate to see that happen to people. You know what I'm saying? They get so, I need followers. Like,
Right.
you don't need followers. And I'm glad that we talking about this, because influence is way more important than followers. You could have 500 followers. This person could have 5,000 followers, but you could have those people those 500 people can tap in. You know what I'm saying? They can, like Christian is a prime example. Executive producer. Christian does not have a big following, but when Christian posts, his story is like 100 pages long, because he has that much influence and the people that's around him. So whenever he posts, whenever project Christian is doing, people are like, I gotta post this, I gotta show up for him, and that's what you call influence.
Yeah.
And that's what they look for.
Yeah. Yeah. That
You know what I'm
power.
saying? That's what they look for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really like casting directors, brands, anybody you want to work for. They look for influence. They don't look for followers like people think they do.
Yeah.
That's how you get money. I know I'm on a deal right now, and I'm arguing with them about getting paid more money, because they're like, I have more of a female influence than male influence.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get more of a male influence. They don't care about the following. They like who's watching.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Lawrence, I'm curious. There is a student, right, from Philly, black male.
Okay.
He's sitting at home. He on the couch. He looking through the TV. He doesn't have, that mentor, that person he can reach out to at arm's length. Like for him, it's you on Pass right now. What would you say are the 5 actionable steps that he could take as somebody looking to break into acting? And then I'm also curious, 5 actionable steps that he could take as someone looking to become a model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, acting and modeling pretty much go hand in hand.
Okay, I love it.
So I would say get some good pictures taken. That's number 1.
Good pictures. Who you go to? Who should he go to?
I mean, he could go to his homeboy. As long as the homeboy got a good camera, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter who take your pictures.
Yeah.
As long as the pictures turn out well.
Okay.
Number 2, I would say sign up for background work.
Sign up for background work.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Because I feel like you learn so much to become an actor doing background work.
Yeah.
You make a couple dollars, you learn the whole set. I did background work for like a whole year, maybe 2. So I would say sign up for background work. That's 2. Then 3, sign up for Actors Access.
Okay.
Sign up for New York casting, LA casting, backstage. Be that person. You know what I'm saying? That's like upload your pictures and just self-submit yourself. My first national campaign was with Timex and Macy's. I was in 56 malls across the world, and I self-submitted myself on LA casting.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? And when I went to the audition, I was in there with guys from LA models, like huge agencies.
Yeah.
And I got that from self-submission. You know what I'm saying? So self-submission, it was 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
4, I probably shouldn't say this, but I mean, you could fake a resume if you want. You could fake a resume. They don't know you wasn't on that show. Only you do. You know what I'm saying? Like fake a resume, get some footage. You know, team up with your friends. See, that can go into 5. Team up with your friends. Get some footage of you actually acting. So then you could make your own reel, and then do the resume, and now you pretty much an actor. You don't need the agent. You are the agent.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And so, in allowing the audience to be agents for themselves, right? We're gonna open the floor up to some questions.
Hello.
Hey.
My question is, how do you get into background work?
So it's this place called, I don't know about LA. I think it's LA Casting. They have LA Casting, they have New York Casting. You just go Google, type it in. And I don't know if it's the same, like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years, but you really just get the address and you would show up and they would take just a regular like picture of you. And then you just they call you when they you'll get like text messages and emails and they might be like, we're looking for a maid for this show. And then you submit that picture that you took at the office. And then that's how they call you in. That's how it used to be. So don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure it's almost the same thing. You just go to the office and sign up. But they probably do it online now. But it's really easy. It's really simple. There's nothing hard to it. Anyone can do it. It's just nobody wants to do it because you don't really make a lot of money. You might make like $40, $50, and it's long hours, but you learn so much, Yeah.
Were you able to network with people while you were?
If you want to be that person, you could. I network. See, I always, before my mentors told me, I always was the kind of person that networked with the people that was around me.
Yeah.
Like I was on set with, Alicia Silverstone. I love Alicia Silverstone. Like I grew up watching her, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't gonna go try to talk to her.
Yeah.
I was talking to the people that was right next to me so I can, learn from them and we can, pass information back and forth. So the network is really the people that's right next to you because they might know something. You don't really got to try to talk to the celebrities or the AD, you know what I'm saying? Issa Rae said that. I think she said kind of network with your people, your peers.
Yeah.
And your peers start in the background, in the room while y'all waiting with them cold sandwiches.
Yeah. Not the cold crafty.
The cold sandwiches, the crafty.
The cold sandwiches. And then we have another question.
Have you ever had a really tough challenge on your journey since you said you've been doing it for 10 years? Can you talk about a challenge that you faced where you questioned your ability to go forward and how you overcame it?
That never ends. You're going to always feel that. Every time I don't care how many jobs you get, how many people know you, you're going to always feel like you ain't good enough, but you got to consistently remind yourself that you are. And nobody else going to do that but you. But I would say, I go to God for everything. So as long as you stay prayed up and talk to yourself, be nice to yourself. That's what I try to tell everybody. But that's a cycle that's going to always continue. You just got to always fight through that and pray yourself through that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is the hardest decision or sacrifice you had to make on your journey or your path? Because nothing comes without cost.
Yeah.
Whether it be time, relationships, money, anything, health, whatever, to achieve a goal, especially chasing this for a decade.
Yeah.
The biggest sacrifice you've had to make, and number one, are you still dealing with it? And not still dealing with it, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, well, I had to move to New York City when my son was 2 years old. So that's the biggest sacrifice. I'm still dealing with that, especially being a new parent. With my girlfriend now, we live together, so we raising a child, a newborn, and I'm raising her 8-year-old son. But at the same time, it's like my 12-year-old son is still in Philadelphia with his mom. So it's like that's always been a challenge. That's never going to go away for me. But there's really nothing I can do about it. Like I'm always I'm a full-time dad, even though I'm not with him every day. He spends the summers with me. He goes back and forth. He travels, but it's gonna I really don't even like doing interviews because I hate talking about that particular, because it's a sensitive situation for me. But it's one of the things that I wouldn't be where I was today if I stayed in Philly. It was nothing in Philly for me. And hopefully I could be that person one day to change the narrative and like how Tyler Perry did with Atlanta and make Philly a place for creativity. But yeah, so that battle is gonna always be faced.
Yeah.
The fact that I had to leave my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thinking about like,
I'm so sorry.
Absolutely.
First, I know the boss, so I can edit that question out if you like. So it doesn't have to air if you don't want it to.
Oh,
That's
no,
number
we
one.
good.
Number
We good.
two, what is something you wish people knew about you that they don't?
That's a nice question. Oh, probably, you know what? That I'm a really nice person. That's what I don't think people think. I don't know why. I just don't feel like people really think that I'm like a really nice person. I kind of like, I don't think people believe it. You know, I've always been very popular, I guess I would say. And I'm like, you know, and I look like I'm friendly, but then when you see me in person, I kind of got the East Coast mean mug. But if you talk to me, like I'm going to always have a conversation. I'm going to always, you know, we're going to catch a vibe. I'm a good person. So yeah, I'm a nice person, and I'm like, anybody can approach me and talk to me. I'm not a mean person. And I don't think people really think that, honestly.
I think it's important who you are, right? Like your personality traits and that kindness. And it can open
But
up
a lot
doors.
of people ain't nice people.
Ooh, okay, let's
So
talk about it.
You know what I'm saying?
My name is Kason.
What's up, bro?
I have a question more about, you talked about how you got into modeling, how you got into acting, what kind of drew you to that. And it takes a lot to stick with something. But I guess today, what still drives you? What is the piece? So I'm a writer and director, and as someone who's starting to have a lot of passion.
Okay.
But everyone around me who I know has done creative stuff, at least in my closest circles, they like started out hot, then it faded away. And that scares me, for real. Not that I think it's gonna be me, but you never know, right? So I guess what still drives you, what keeps you going?
You need new friends.
You're right.
Yeah.
You need new friends. Because, I mean, yeah, because like the best, like these people that's in this room, like you like come out of yourself and make these people your friend. Yeah. Because like these are people that you going, like when you ain't feeling yourself, you know, you can tap in with them and they can encourage you. Like Christian has encouraged me. You know, my friend Broderick, he's a model. He's encouraged me. Like the people, and I don't talk to these guys every day, but I consider them my friends. Yeah. And it's all about the company you keep. Because if you keep weak people around, that weakness gonna get into your spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We got another question here.
Yep.
So I know that you've, I know that you've worked a lot, and of course, you know, every time an opportunity to create is beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut of playing the same types of characters? And if so, what is the type of character you really, really want to play that you just cannot wait until you get that opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. I see a pattern forming. I wouldn't say I'm stuck yet because like I have worked, but I'm you know I don't consider it. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I guess you know compared to where I came from, I have worked a lot, but I don't feel like I'm stuck. But I do see when I get an audition or I get a casting, I see it's kind of like the same type of guy. I don't think it's really nothing I can do about that. It's all about just showing up and getting the work done. But what I would like to do in the future is play more roles that like are more challenging from an emotional standpoint. You know, people that's like really going through, you know, like addictions and like how, like, you know, how Zendaya plays Rue. Like, I love those characters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know those characters personally. So that's the characters I would love to play. Even the gangster roles, I don't even really like, I go in for them, but they really rarely cast me for the gangster. So I'm so thankful for Irv Gotti for seeing me as a gangster. Like, you know, he was like, no, I wanted you. Like, I wanted a handsome dude. Like, I'm like, thank you, bro. Like, I'm from Philly. All my cousins is gangsters. I can play a gangster, but it's like they kind of just always got me like, it's like I already know a line gonna come, I'm gonna have to smile. It's like, you want me to be like, yeah. And it's like, that's cool, but it's just like, yeah, so it's really, I can go on and on about that, but yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Speaking of roles, I mean, you're currently now lead actor. Grateful. I mean, entails? Like,
Grateful.
grateful.
Grateful Edwin.
My
The name is
ex-
kind of crazy. They talked about it on Twitter too. The name kind of crazy. So I get it.
Grateful.
Yep.
Cool, my accent. So speaking of what you're currently doing and working in now,
Right.
I mean, I hear Tales and Grateful as that role. Talk to us about that. This is what I believe, I think I learned was like your first like lead.
That was like my
Role.
first like lead where I had to
Yeah.
everybody was, coming to me to pretty much run the whole show. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
For that episode. It was a lot. It was, I didn't even know I was auditioning for the lead. I just did the audition and then I got they closed the deal and it was like, oh, you number one on the call. I'm like, oh, I'm number one. Hold on. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I was famous enough to be number one for Irv Gotti because I know he's big on, popular people. So I was just like, oh. So when I got it, it was a great opportunity. Like I said, he seen me as a gangster.
Yeah.
It was dope. I got to tap into all the dudes I wanted to be when I was growing up, but I was not going to go to jail. So I was like, this is cool. I get to play you guys and then go back home to my condo. I loved it. It was great.
So when you said people were coming to you for things like you didn't expect, what type of things, I guess? So as somebody who is not as familiar, right? The difference between doing background work versus a lead role, what were some of the differences and responsibilities?
Oh, it's totally different.
Okay.
Because I mean, for one, besides people look at being like a lead as like, all right, it's a lot of material, it's a lot of work, but it's an energy before you get on set. Like as soon as you show up, everybody know you the lead. So it's like everybody looking at you to see what energy you gonna bring because the energy you bring inspires everybody on the set.
Yeah.
So it's like you sitting in that chair, it's like, oh, what's up? Everybody want to talk, so you got to make sure you engage with everybody. Make sure everybody's excited. Some people it might be their first job, people might be working for years. So it's kind of like it's a level of like gratitude, but a level of confidence that you got to have when you carrying that. So I know I'm on my way to doing a series regular, and I'm having 10 episodes. But even just doing that one episode, I was like, wow, like it's a certain type of character that you got to have being a lead. So that's the difference alone. When you guest starring or you co-starring, you could come in and people don't even really notice you was there. You in and out. But this one is like everybody looking for you. So you just want to make sure that you show up and be a good person because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. And I think we inspired a good question for the audience.
I have a two-part question. The first question is, what do you say to the young actor that either does not have representation or just got representation? How do they go about getting the attention of a casting director? That's the first question.
Yeah.
The second half of that question, or even maybe a second question, what do you say to the actor that is consistently auditioning for a casting director but does not get booked?
Oh, that's my story of my life. For that actor that's trying to get, they don't have an agent, but they're trying to get that casting director attention.
Yeah.
Let's hope that the world gonna open back up like it did, but it's opportunity out there. Like BET does this thing called the BET Experience every year. And you might got to stand in that line from 3 a.m. to audition for these casting directors like Robbie Reed, Leah, Kim Coleman, all the, the top dogs. But make sure you go to those open calls. Make sure you sign up for those monologue slams. Yeah. Like do everything that you can that's available. You know what I'm saying? From being friends with casting directors now, I don't think they like when you kind of are a little too thirsty. Like, don't be thirsty because it's like you can be hungry but not thirsty. So you don't gotta like keep DMing them and keep writing them because it comes off like I need a job. I'm an actor, and it's like they real people, so they don't want to feel like you're using them. So it's kind of like get their attention with your talent. Maybe post that audition that you had, make an audition up and post it on your Instagram page and let them see it. I don't think there's nothing wrong with tagging them in the video, but as far as like reaching out personally, I just feel like it's just a way you gotta move so you won't come off like you kind of just attacking them. Just like, just get their attention in the right way. The second question you said is about the actor that's auditioning over and over again. That was me. I auditioned for Leah Daniels Butler for probably about 6 years, and I was not getting anything. And I was getting to the point I'm like, yo, what, like in the beginning, and it's crazy. I think I had to realize in the beginning, like, dude, you wasn't good. Like, so that's first off. In the beginning, self-assessment, like I wasn't getting the job because I wasn't good enough, like I thought I was. And then after, but when they start calling you week after week after week, that's when you know you hot. Like that's when you know you hot, or they calling you month. If that casting director call you every 6 months, every 2 months, she's trying to give you I feel like from my experience, she's trying to give you a chance to get better. And that's why they do that. That's what I have been told. But when it comes to them calling you in week after week, you about to book. You just like, I don't know what, you're going to get that job. So you just got to stay persistent and keep putting out good auditions. So make sure I don't care if you got I got one today, and I made sure I still put in 100%. And I've already worked with this casting director twice, but I still wanted to make sure that I put my best effort. So I would just say, just put your best effort and know deep down inside that job is coming, and don't get weary. I know, you got to pay them bills, but if you got to go back to that job, go to that job. Don't let that ego keep you from working. Because you want to work as an actor. You got, like, in order to, all work is work. So if you lazy at McDonald's, you're going to get lazy on that set. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
That's good. Keep that round of applause going, because we're not lazy on none of this stuff. Y'all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Give a round of applause for Lawrence Robinson dropping gems today on the cast.
I'm trying.
I mean, we are so grateful that you gave us a moment of your time today. Like, really, and kept it real. Like, told us he was at the airport, and he was like, I see a billboard. Everything is walking inspiration to, right. I see a billboard, I'm gonna reach out to somebody who I know from a past experience and just go from there, right? Like, really getting better. And I feel like I heard you kind of saying that self-assessment and making sure you're doing your best, right? Having that humility. Like, you can do backdrop and you can be the lead actor, but you need to have that humility. And it has to be consistent.
And that's why I recommend people to stay in class.
Yep.
Like, stay in class. You have to stay in class. And if you're not in class, then find somebody that can run lines with you, your friend, just stay active. Because it's like, you get better the more and more you practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope y'all locked in, because we just had the most amazing time. Y'all give it up for Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I'm clapping for myself.
Hey, you gotta clap for yourself. That's where it starts.
Amen.
You are your own publicist, right?
Listen, amen.
Thank you so much again for joining us and giving us a moment of your time. We greatly appreciate it. And I mean, this was a pivotal point in our path as we close out this episode. Thank y'all so much. See y'all again soon.
Thank you. Pass. Yeah.
Aphrodite, then discuss, her rapper, messy colors, never become business. I love Aphrodite, then discuss, her rapper, messy colors, never become business. I love it when you couscous, love it when you couscous, love it when you couscous, couscous. Love it, love it when you couscous. Love it, love it, I love it when you